It's Monday, May 29th. It's Memorial Day. And today I have some good news. There has been a compromise. And I call it a compromise because the parties came together and agreed on the particulars that could lead to a debt ceiling deal. And it has to be considered a compromise now because we need Congress and the Senate to also agree with the particulars that Biden and McCarthy put together. Now, neither party got everything they wanted. Biden conceded and gave up certain things when he swore. I don't know if swore is the right word, but when he said he would not give up anything, don't ask him to cut anything. But there were cuts. There was a cut in the IRS for about $10 billion for those people who are going to try and track down the multi-billionaires who don't pay their fair share of tax. And I think that that's a reasonable cut because I believe that if the IRS looked strongly into the situation, they could come up with some automated procedures that would eliminate the need for all the manpower that they use in that department. I know the IRS has automation. I don't know how much is automated, but I believe in this world that we live in right now with AI taking over, that they ought to be able to create more automation to solve their manpower problems. And probably redesigning certain forms wouldn't hurt that process either. So the IRS didn't get all the money they wanted, but they certainly got enough to improve the service. That's my opinion. But that's one issue. And then on other issues, we all have the Freedom Caucus, and then there's a left-wing Progressive Caucus. And those people are not 100% happy with this compromise so far, and they have already spoken out about the pieces that are missing in their minds. And that's the way it's going to go through this whole process. Not everybody is going to get everything they wanted. And if you look at the way deals are made, that's the way they are made. You have to give a little bit to get a little bit. And you don't get every single thing that you want. And we have to learn to live with that. So this deal, if it goes through, or this compromise, if it becomes a deal, will go into effect in time to avoid a failure in the debt limit. And this is a 2-year deal. So this will run beyond the next election if it passes the House and the Senate. So Biden and McCarthy have done their part. But congressional passage of the plan before June 5th, when the Treasury is projected to exhaust its ability to pay its obligation, is not assured. It's not assured, particularly in the House, which plans to consider this compromise on Wednesday. And you know, Republicans hold a narrow majority in the House. But there are right-wing lawmakers who have demanded significantly larger budget cuts in exchange for lifting the borrowing limit. And they're already in revolt. So this is not a done deal by any way, shape, or form. McCarthy and Biden have done their piece up to this point, and now they have to get their congressional and senatorial groups together to fight for what they came up with. And that may not be as easy as we think. You would think that because each of these leaders gave up something to get this deal done, that their constituent parties would agree with them. Biden gave up the idea of continuing to grow by spending more and more money. He gave up that idea. He is content with leaving the money matters exactly where they sit right now. On the other side of it, McCarthy's group wants to lower the spending, to cut more and more. And I say, why can't we survive right where we are now? We've done enough spending. We know how to handle this amount of money. So why do they want more cuts? And why do the Democrats who are not satisfied with Biden's deal want more money. It's got to stop somewhere, and this is the time to do it. So we have a compromise on the table, but it's not a done deal. So when Biden made a statement, he admitted that this wasn't a done deal. He said it's an important step forward that reduces spending while protecting critical programs for working people and growing the economy for everyone. And the agreement protects my and congressional Democrats' key priorities and legislative accomplishments. I mean, that's what Biden went on there and said. So he admitted he gave something, but he believes he still left us in a very good position. And he admitted that not everybody gets what they want. And that's right. That's the way deals are made. That's the way compromise works. And on McCarthy's side, he said this deal contained historic reductions in spending and consequential reforms that will lift people out of poverty into the workforce. It will rein in government overreach, and it would add no new taxes. And that's all McCarthy wanted to say, and he also told the press that the text for this compromise would be released soon. And so now this compromise moves forward. And it was structured, let's not kid ourselves, it was structured to get votes from both parties. But it has drawn fire from not only the conservative Republicans, but the Democrats who are being asked to vote for cuts they oppose with the threat of default looming. These groups feel that they were pressured into this situation because of the looming debt crisis. But let's look at this thing realistically. They are part of this government. They are part of the problem. This is not a problem between just two men. This is a problem for the 435 people who sit in Congress and another 100 people who sit in the Senate. It's their problem, too. It's their problem as much as it is the problem of Biden and McCarthy. Both sides should be happy that this deal would suspend this whole issue with the borrowing limit, which is currently at $31.4 trillion. It'll keep it stable for the next 2 years, and that's enough to get past the next presidential election. And I would hope that in the next 2 years we can get this country straightened out, figure out a way to live a better life together and stop this constant fighting and this constant ripping this country apart. So this is a compromise, and that's the way we have to continue our lives. And the lives of the nation depends upon this group of 535 plus one to get their act together. So I leave you with that this morning. Have a great day.